You know something, cuckolds? Let me tell you this. Wrestling today is based on absolutely nothing. Stardom today is based on absolutely nothing. Let me make this example clear by talking about two people in AEW and how they are treated. On one hand, we have Ty Dillinger, or whatever the hell his name is, Sean Spears, I should say. Sean Spears. Now, Sean Spears is a jobber. There's absolutely no doubt that he's a jobber and that he will always continue to be a jobber. Now, the question as to why he's a jobber has confounded many for a long time. The general consensus seems to be that he's a jobber because he lacks the charisma and the mic skills to be anything above what he currently is. However, everyone should concede that compared to today's wrestler, he is bigger and stronger and has the look more so than most of them, right? We have to concede that. So, in other words, Sean Spears sucks because he's not charismatic, according to the theory, right? And because he lacks the mic skills. Now let's look at Jungle Boy. Does Jungle Boy have any charisma? Absolutely zero. Is Jungle Boy good on the mic? Absolutely not. So why in the blue hell is Jungle Boy getting pushed and someone like Sean Spears isn't? Now, before people start freaking out, no one is saying that we should push Sean Spears and bury Jungle Boy. I don't give a rat's ass either way. But what is it about Jungle Boy that makes him one of the four pillars? Why isn't Sean Spears one of the four pillars of AEW? Is it just because Jungle Boy is young? I mean, Jungle Boy, he's got nothing going for him. He's too small, right? He's not especially charismatic. He's not good on the mic at all. Who's to say that Griff Garrison from the Blondes or Pillman, Pillman's son, right? Who's to say that they're not better than Jungle Boy? Why aren't they the pillars? In other words, what the fuck makes Jungle Boy so special? Absolutely nothing, motherfucks. Which is my whole point. Let's take a look at MJF, who in my opinion has had a disaster of a title run thus far. This is one of the worst champions of all time. I mean, I put him right up there with Bianca Belair as one of the worst champions ever. I mean, it's just completely boring. I have no interest at all in watching AEW as long as this guy's champion because he's not going to wrestle and he's just going to be there cutting the same boring promo again and again. All he does, just like Ricky Stark said, is he comes out there, he shits on the town, he shits on the people that he wrestles, and that's it. He doesn't say anything clever. He's not charismatic, motherfucks. He's not. I don't care what people say. He's not charismatic. Now, is he more charismatic than Jungle Boy? Sure. Yes. He's baseline better than like the most average of the average, but he is not someone that should be lauded for his charisma. He is not on the same level as Jericho. The fact that people like Dave Meltzer say that he's going to surpass The Rock is ridiculous. If The Rock and MJF were in, pardon me, cuts, WWE at the same time, The Rock would bury this jabroni. He would bury this Rudy Poo candy ass every week, right? This guy is not even more charismatic than Road Dogg. And we're supposed to believe that he's like one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time. His promos are monotonous and they're boring. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how this guy is going to leave the company one day. So this begs the question, is he great in the ring? I don't think he's anything special at all. You know, what makes him better in the ring than The Miz? I mean, he's definitely not better in the ring than The Miz, right? The Miz actually has some cool moves. You know, and The Miz is way more charismatic than everyone in AEW, except for Jericho, combined. I mean, it's not even close. You know what I'm saying? But what makes it that The Miz has to be a jobber, but that someone like Jungle Boy is a pillar, right? Darby Allin, at the very least, the only pillar, and okay, fine, Sammy Guevara too, because Sammy Guevara will go up there and he'll do like a 630 onto like off the stage, right? He'll jump off ladders, he'll almost die. Darby Allin, same thing. He'll do anything, this fucker, right? So I do give them props for that. That's something that like I have to concede. I can't say that like, they suck because they at least do some things. Like they put their bodies on the line, and in ways that we don't really see. But Jungle Boy doesn't do any of this. Jungle Boy is literally just there. Like, if you took Jungle Boy and you replaced him with Commander, you'd get the same thing. Why isn't Commander a pillar? Why isn't, like, Rey Fenix is like 100 times more entertaining than Jungle Boy in the ring, at least, right? Why is he not getting pushed, right? What is it about Jungle Boy? Now, I'm not here to shit on only Jungle Boy because, he sucks and his ring name is Jungle Boy. But, I digress. The real point here is this, right? There is no foundational basis as to why someone is good anymore, right? People are just good because people say they're good, right? The biggest culprit of this is Karrion Kross. All of a sudden, this is why I've always hated this fuck, right? I hate him specifically because people love him for no reason, right? All of a sudden, people are like, this guy's great. And then you ask the question, why is he great? And or what makes him great? And no one can answer that. No one can answer that question for Jungle Boy or Karrion Kross. Ask me, motherfucks, why R-Truth is great. I'd give you 25 reasons. As a matter of fact, that's going to be one of my next videos. Ask me why The Rock is great. I can give you 100 reasons. Ask me why Vince McMahon is great. I can give you 1,000 reasons, right? But people like things for no reason at all. It's kind of like, remember when Tyler Breeze was doing the selfie gimmick, right? And people are like, this guy's great. Why is he great? This guy's got Dolph Ziggler written all over him. Except the problem is, we already have a Dolph Ziggler. Why do we need this asshole, right? There's absolutely nothing that he brings to the table. When I say Odyssey Jones and whatever the guy, Bronson Reed, are the next Bull Dempsey, I'm not even saying it as like Bull Dempsey sucks and so do they. The point I'm trying to make is that we've already seen this happen, right? So why the hell would these people end up any different than Bull Dempsey, right? We've already seen Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza happen several times. We've seen the handsome guy gimmick. We've seen that go nowhere, right? We've seen the, multi-generational Hispanic talent gimmick go nowhere, right? Why would it be different for Angel Garza? Why would it be different for Andrade? Why would it be different for Santos Escobar? Why would it be different for any of these jobbers? Nobody wants to see any of them. They're trying to capture what they got with Rey Mysterio, right? They never will. Rey Mysterio is a once in a lifetime. Legit, we're never going to see another Rey Mysterio in our lifetimes. Eddie Guerrero is one of the most charismatic people in the history of the species, motherfuckers. We're not going to, you're not going to, tell me, people do this all the time. They're like, oh, Humberto Carrillo reminds me of Eddie Guerrero. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, motherfuckers. That's just a bold-faced lie. Humberto Carrillo has never reminded anyone of Eddie Guerrero. No one in the world has looked at Humberto Carrillo and said, yeah, this guy's going to be the next Eddie Guerrero, and has said this seriously. Everyone that said this has lied. Everyone that said this about Sammy Guevara has lied, motherfuckers. None of them have the capacity to be the next Eddie Guerrero, so why even pretend, right? Instead of looking to see what new characters we can develop and create, right? Or at least look at, gimmicks that have failed, perhaps, but that weren't given a real chance, right? I think we're due for the next real dark character, right? Obviously, the Demon Finn Balor didn't work out, and Bray Wyatt, I got nothing to say about that. We all know how that turned out, motherfuckers. Complete and utter failure. Who gives a flying fuck? But we need something cool, right? Now, people are digging that we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it's almost like we've given up, right? We've given up. It's like, here's the future. It's going to be Carmelo Hayes, who I actually like because he's at least athletic, right? But what's his character? His character is he thinks he's great. That's his character. His character is he's Dolph Ziggler, right? Am I to believe that Carmelo Hayes is going to have a better career than Dolph Ziggler? Based on what? Dolph Ziggler looks 100 times better. Dolph Ziggler's like fucking shredded, not 1 ounce of fat, right? And Carmelo Hayes is like, not that he's fat or anything, but he's not as shredded as Dolph Ziggler. He's not as big as Dolph Ziggler. He's not as over as Dolph Ziggler, right? And if Dolph Ziggler didn't do it, why am I to believe that Carmelo Hayes is going to do it? He's not more charismatic, right? There's nothing charismatic about Carmelo Hayes, right? Then we have probably the worst of these NXT jobbers. Grayson Waller. I don't know what anyone sees in this jobber. People are like, this guy's going to be the future. This guy is going to be the next Justin Gabriel. Before you know it, he's going to be on main event. Not on the main event of the show, but on WWE main event, wherever the fuck they show that nowadays. This guy has Justin Gabriel written all over him in the sense that we've seen this before. A guy with a goofy accent, right? Who has this like, I'm really good gimmick, right? Wow, this guy's just like a blue chip athlete, right? We've seen this a million times, right? It never works out. There are limits to what wrestlers can achieve based on their gimmicks. And the worst is people with no gimmicks. If you have no gimmick and you have nothing else that makes you stand out, you will be mediocre in life and in wrestling, right? If you have nothing that makes you stand out, Why would anyone give a flying fuck what you're doing next, right? That's the case for Jungle Boy. That's the case for Carmelo Hayes. That's the case for fucking, what's it called? Grayson Waller. That's the case for all these. Johnny Gargano is another one, right? People with no gimmicks are just, oh, I'm here. They have nothing to do. They can't use me. Of course they can't use you. You haven't shown any kind of character in your entire fucking career, right? Meanwhile, people like Eric Young, I mean, I know he's been re-signed. Shout out to that. Big Eric Young fan, right? Eric Young, on the other hand, like I put Eric Young on the R-Truth level, right? Like you can give them whatever the fuck you want, and they'll go out there and kill it, right? And they don't get any push. Why R-Truth has not gotten a push, but people like Carmelo Hayes and people like Grayson Waller consistently get pushed. And I mean, R-Truth's getting up there in age, so I don't know for a fact, right? But I can tell you this. When Tyler Breeze was getting pushed over R-Truth, I knew R-Truth would outlast him. Everyone knew R-Truth would outlast Grayson Waller. Everyone knew R-Truth would outlast Kalisto. Everyone knew R-Truth would outlast all the other jobbers that have been pushed over him, right? So why are they getting pushed, right? It's not going to happen, motherfuckers. You're never going to make Kalisto the next Rey Mysterio. He's not cool enough. He's not jacked enough. He's not charismatic enough. He's got nothing that Mysterio has. So, with that being said, cucks, you know, all these comparisons, oh, Adam Cole is the next Jericho or the next Shawn Michaels. Adam Cole is the next Grayson Waller is what he is. Or I should say Grayson Waller is the next Adam Cole. None of these things are going to work out. Everyone that I've just mentioned sucks ass, except for maybe Carmelo Hayes. He's okay. I do hope. He's a young guy. They may give him a gimmick. He's pretty athletic, so I do like him. But, I mean, as it stands, motherfuckers, as it stands, this guy cannot lace up Dolph Ziggler's boots. And I'm not saying I'm a Dolph Ziggler fan all of a sudden, but you get what I'm saying, cucks. That being said, stay tuned for my next video, which is probably going to come soon. Today or tomorrow, 25 reasons why R-Truth kicks ass, motherfuckers.